Once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 8th week of our free BRCGS certification familiarization training. I'm Jasril from the Customer Success Team at Consultare Inc. Group. Last week, we covered resources as required under BRCGS Clause 1.1.7 within Senior Management Commitment and Continual Improvement. Today, we will focus on the topic industry awareness in line with BRCGS Food Safety Clause 1.1.8 under the Senior Management Commitment requirements. Under this requirement, senior management is responsible for ensuring that the site actively monitors and stays informed of scientific and technical developments, industry codes of practice, emerging authenticity risks in raw materials, and all relevant legislation in the markets where products are sold. By understanding and implementing this requirement, the organization ensures that its food safety system remains current, resilient, and responsive to emerging risks. Staying informed enables the business to anticipate changes, prevent potential threats, maintain regulatory compliance, and protect both the brand and consumer safety. It also reflects strong leadership commitment, a fundamental expectation embedded within all BRCGS standards. By the way, this free training session is sponsored by Consultare Inc. Group, a compliance company. Consultare Inc. Group is a registered U.S. government vendor specializing in compliance management, regulatory documentation, quality systems, cybersecurity, and digital transformation support. We began by assisting businesses with U.S. import and export compliance and have since evolved into a global provider of food safety, quality, and certification support. Today, our services revolve around compliance management software, specialized training, and end-to-end support services that help organizations achieve and maintain compliance with international standards. Through our platform, interlinkiq.com, we offer an integrated compliance management system that streamlines documentation, monitoring, and audit readiness. We also provide dedicated compliance and certification support programs for FSVP, PCQI, SQF, BRCGS, FSSC 22000, ISO 9001, GMP, and HACCP, helping businesses strengthen the regulatory compliance, enhance operational efficiency, and ensure alignment with global food safety and quality management standards. Now let's take a look at the training schedule. For this week, we will focus on the topic industry awareness, as outlined in BRCGS Clause 1.1.8. Gaining a clear understanding of this requirement is essential to achieving and sustaining your BRCGS certification goals. In today's agenda, we will begin by familiarizing ourselves with the BRCGS 1.1.8 industry awareness, starting with an overview of the requirements and a walkthrough of the compliance action activities performed on a regular schedule to maintain certification readiness. We will also discuss the annual review and internal audit activities, which help verify program effectiveness and drive continuous improvement. You are encouraged to ask questions in the chat box, which we will address in next week's session. Participants may also request a free 90-day trial of our BRCGS certification management software to help manage compliance tasks, assign accountability, and stay audit ready. And finally, all participants will receive a training certificate. Please ensure that you have completed the free certification familiarization training sign-up form shared in the chat. On the screen, you will find a sample of the familiarization certificate that you will receive upon completing each session. Please note that certificates are issued every Friday and Monday, so please allow our team more time to process them. With that, let's move forward to our training session, where we will be working directly with the BRCGS compliance management software. Now let's start by going over the description of requirements of the BRCGS 1.1.8 industry awareness. Please take a look at the description and the screen. It says, for 1.1.8 industry awareness, senior management shall ensure that the site reviews and stays informed of First, scientific and technical developments, industry codes of practice, new authenticity risk in raw materials, and all relevant legislation in the markets where products are sold. So you may update or edit the description as needed, for example, to reflect revisions when the new BRCGS editions are released. Now, to implement this requirement, the action items are outlined in the Compliance tab. This section supports the food safety and quality team leader or the site technical and quality manager by organizing tasks according to frequency, whether they are performed daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi annually. So, here are some examples of your compliance action items. For your daily activities, this include conducting GMP and food safety walkthroughs. This can be done by observing production hygiene, environmental conditions, and personal practices. Address nonconformities immediately and reinforce food safety behaviors on the floor. Next is engage with production staff on food safety topics. Promote a positive food safety culture through open communication, answering questions, and encouraging staff to report issues proactively. And monitor CCPs and quality parameters. So this can be done by verifying that critical limits are met and records are completed correctly. Follow up on any deviations and document corrective actions. For your weekly activities, review incidents, deviations, and nonconformances. Assess all recent events to identify trends and initiate corrective or preventive actions. Summarize findings for management if patterns emerge. Next is update internal communication boards or FSQA bulletins. Post recent food recalls, industry alerts, or updates from regulatory bodies to keep all departments informed. And conduct brief management walkthroughs. Encourage senior management visibility on the floor to demonstrate commitment, engage with employees, and discuss food safety priorities. Now, for your quarterly activities, prepare and present an industry awareness report, summarize scientific, technical, and regulatory developments, as well as any emerging authenticity or supply chain risk. Present updates during management meetings. Next is update the legislation and standards register. Review and revise your legal register to ensure it reflects current laws, market requirements, and industry codes of practice. Conduct food safety culture engagement activities. Organize toolbox talks, short training sessions, or recognition programs that promote positive behavior and reinforce the site's food safety culture. Review supplier authenticity and raw material risk. Evaluate supplier data and risk assessments to ensure that ingredient authenticity concerns are addressed and monitored. And review customer complaints and KPI trends. Analyze complaint data, audit results, and quality metrics to identify improvement opportunities and communicate outcomes to senior management. Now, for your biannual activities, conduct a formal management review meeting. Review overall system performance, audit findings, KPI results, new legislation, industry updates, and continuous improvement progress. Ensure that actions and timelines are agreed upon. Participants in external training or webinar or participate in external training or webinars. Ensure FSQA staff and senior management attend food safety, authenticity, or regulatory update sessions to maintain current knowledge. Conduct a food safety culture survey. Assess staff understanding, engagement, and attitude towards food safety. Use the results to define improvement actions or training needs. And evaluate and update HACCP and risk assessments. Incorporate findings from new scientific or industry information, authenticity alerts, or process changes. Update documentation accordingly. So basically, this serves as your checklist of compliance activities that you need to perform. You can either add or customize your own compliance action items, or we can preload all the required activities for you to perform. And to complete each of these activities, we've also provided corresponding work instructions and compliance activities in the instruction and evidence section, along with the required artifacts or records to document completion. For example, to complete the action item, which states that monitor CCPs and quality parameters, verify that critical limits are met and records are completed correctly, follow up on any deviations and document corrective action. Now let's click on the view option here to see the work instructions on how to complete this activity. So these are your activities or compliance activities that you need to complete or you need to perform. First, you need to verify CCP or quality records for completeness and correctness. So this can be done by reviewing the critical control point monitoring sheets and quality parameters lags to ensure entries are accurate, timely, and compliant with defined procedures. Your artifacts or records involved in this um, step are your CCP monitoring records, quality parameter lags, and reviewer initials or signature and date. Next is to confirm critical limits are consistently met. So this can be done by comparing recorded values against defined critical limits or specifications and verify ongoing control. For your artifacts or records, you need a CCP critical limit reference, monitoring trend chart or summary, and verification check record. Next is to follow up and document deviations. So you need to investigate deviations and ensure documented corrective actions are taken and verify effectiveness. The artifacts and records involved in this step are your deviation report, corrective action record, and verification of effectiveness note. Now let's demonstrate compliance to this specific action item. So to complete this, you need to upload an evidence of compliance in a form of artifacts, records, or images. So for this same action item, compliance can be done by uploading the completed CCP or daily CCP and quality monitoring report. Let's take a look at this document. So this record, as you can see on the screen, shows that the production team was made aware by the QA supervisors of the importance of monitoring the critical control points or CCPs and quality parameters, including cooking temperatures, cooling tunnel temperatures, metal detection sensitivity, and product weights. Staff participation demonstrates ongoing awareness of operational best practices and adherence to current industry standards. Any deviations were also identified and addressed, with corrective actions taken and verified to ensure all parameters returned to compliance. So these activities reinforce staff understanding, especially the production staff, of industry recommended monitoring practices and emphasize proactive management of any potential food safety risk. Staff engagement and feedback further strengthen awareness of the responsibilities in maintaining food safety and quality. So review and sign off by the QA and production management confirm accountability and alignment with industry best practices. So this is just an example of an evidence of compliance for your action items here. Your goal is to complete every compliance action items and provide supporting evidence and turning every no into yes to ensure full audit readiness. These documents can also be retrieved and presented during an actual audit as proof of compliance. Now let's go over to the annual review tab, which also serves as your gap assessment tool. This tab is designed as an internal audit checklist in the form of questionnaires to help you maintain compliance with BRCGS certification requirements. Now, under the industry awareness requirements, annual review questions might include the following. First, does the site have a system to stay updated on relevant scientific and technical developments? Are subscriptions or alerts set up for food safety organizations, regulatory bodies, or technical publications? Has the FSQA team attended relevant food safety or technical webinars, conferences in the past 12 months? Are summaries of scientific or technical updates prepared and communicated to senior management? Are potential impacts of new scientific or technical developments evaluated for the site's processes or products? Does the site maintain an updated library or database of industry codes of practice? Are industry codes of practice reviewed at least annually to ensure compliance and relevance? Are internal procedures benchmarked against recognized industry standards? Are updates to codes of practice communicated to relevant departments or included in staff training? Is a raw material vulnerability assessment conducted and updated at least annually? Does the site monitor authenticity and fraud alerts from recognized sources like RASFF or Horizon Scan? Are suppliers evaluated for authenticity controls and integrity of raw materials? Are receiving and QA staff trained to identify potential authenticity or adulteration risks? Does the site subscribe to regulatory or legislative update services relevant to its markets? Are changes in legislation reviewed and assessed for their impact on the site's product and operations? Are product labels and specifications updated when legislation changes? Are records of legislative reviews and updates maintained for audit and management review purposes? Is industry awareness included as a regular agenda item in management review meetings? Are reports of summaries of industry trends presented to senior management for review and action? And does management allocate resources or initiate improvements based on identified industry or regulatory trends? So once again, these are simply examples of assessment or annual review items that you can adapt in your facility. So you may also customize or develop your own assessment items tailored to your specific processes. Now let's take one annual review item as an example and see how compliance is demonstrated. So let's choose the third one. Has the FSQA team attended relevant food safety or technical webinars or conferences in the past 12 months? So let's take a look how to complete this assessment item. So of course, you need to identify applicable learning and development opportunities. This can be done by reviewing any available food safety, quality, and technical webinars, conferences, or workshops relevant to site operations, industry sector, or regulatory updates. Next is to confirm participation and attendance. So verify FSQA team members attended relevant sessions within the past 12 months, including webinars, conferences, or workshops organized by recognized food safety bodies. So during those seminars or trainings, you need to get the attendance certificates or registration confirmations as evidence of compliance. Also, if the training attendance log should be completed, as well as the sign-in sheets and event agenda or learning summary. Next step is to assess relevance and knowledge transfer. So this can be done by confirming learnings from attended events will be reviewed and shared with the wider food safety or production teams who have not attended the actual seminar or training, and any applicable practices or updates were implemented. And then next is to verify management review and ongoing competency. You need to ensure that the management evaluated the effectiveness of participation in professional events as part of the team's competency development. And lastly, document verification and archive evidence. So you need to record verification of participation and file supporting documentation within the training or QMS archive for audit traceability. So now let's see a sample document that can be used as evidence of compliance to this specific assessment item. In this case, we have provided or uploaded the industry awareness FSQA training record. Let's take a look at this document. Okay, so the record shows that the FSQA team has actively participated in relevant food safety and technical webinars, conferences, and workshops over the past 12 months, in line with the BRCGS Clause 1.1.8 industry awareness requirement. The team attended events covering HACCP updates, as well as GMP best practices, FISMA compliance, emerging technologies, and supply chain authenticity risk, ensuring that they remain informed about scientific developments and industry codes of practice. Knowledge gained from these activities was applied through follow-up actions, including updating the internal SOPs, reviewing the training materials, and integrating insights into assessments, demonstrating that learning is translated into operational improvements. Attendance records document individual participation. So we have here the attendance sheet, and sign-offs by QA and production management confirm accountability. Overall, this record demonstrates that the organization maintains an informed FSQA team, reinforces food safety culture, and actively applies industry knowledge to sustain regulatory compliance and best practices. Then again, this is just an example of how to complete a specific assessment item by providing evidence of compliance. So your goal is to turn every no into yes for the annual review questionnaire to help you measure compliance progress while also preparing your facility for both internal and external BRCGS certification audits. So at this point, you may now post your questions in the chat box. And please note that all inquiries will be reviewed to ensure that each question will be properly addressed. And we will cover these questions in detail during next week's training session. In the meantime, while some of you may still be typing or thinking about what questions to raise, we'd like to invite you to our other free certification familiarization training sessions held every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Central Time. Please note that the CGMP training is conducted separately every Tuesday at 1 p.m. These sessions cover various topics, including FSSC 22000 certification, SQF certification, FDA Food Code, Foreign Supplier Verification Program, or FSVP compliance, and 21 CFR Parts 117 and 111 compliance, or CGMP for human food and dietary supplements. The sessions are open to everyone, so please feel free to invite colleagues or friends in the food industry to join this free training by sharing the Zoom meeting link with them. You may also schedule a one-on-one BRCGS coaching session for a more personalized guidance on implementing and maintaining compliance with your site's BRCGS requirements. So this concludes our training session on BRCGS 1.1.8 Industry Awareness. Your training certificates will be sent directly to your registered email addresses. We also invite you to join us again next week as we discuss our next topic, access to standard, as outlined in BRCGS Clause 1.1.9. For those who haven't yet completed the free certification familiarization sign-up form, we encourage you to do so and indicate your interest in receiving a 90-day free BRCGS certification management software. This software provides access to the compliance dashboard, training management tools, customer and supplier requirements management, and digitized forms or e-forms, ideal for those transitioning from a paper-based to a paperless system. If you have any questions, clarifications, or feedback regarding today's training, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at hello@consultareinc.com. Thank you for your participation, and we wish you a pleasant day ahead.